Yo, what is up, guys? This is a crazy upgrade. This is an insane new piece of technology I've acquired from the internet via pirating. Yes, guys, due to pirating, I now have Adobe Premiere, and I also have various other tools, but mostly Adobe Premiere. And this is game changing for the channel if you are a fan at all. If you're not, then you don't give a fuck, and honestly neither do I, because right now I'm smiling. But new shit, new production. Anyway, you guys may have read the description, or sorry, you guys may have read the title of the video. Today we have a channel. Now this one's an OG. This one goes back way back, man. This is time ago. This was grade 10. Another grade 10 story. The thing about these grade 10 stories, guys, is these were like the heavenly days of my drug addiction and drug abuse, because it was cool still to me. It wasn't a problem. It wasn't actually mental health issues yet. It was fun. It was all the ups and not the downs. But today was actually might have been the first turning point ever. And this is a special story because it involves ADHD medication. Now, I would say I have ADHD. It hasn't been diagnosed, so I can't really say for sure. And I know a lot of people hate motherfuckers that self-diagnose. But at the end of the day, I've come to the conclusion that everyone has ADHD. Literally everyone. And some people just have it worse, and some people deal with it better, and some people honestly are just unaffected. But from what I've seen, everyone has like ADHD, just had like some fucking form of hyperactive disorder. But doesn't really have anything to do with the story. But I was just doing this because I wanted to do some drugs. But at the time, around this time, I'd kind of been like baptized. I found acid finally after a journey through, started with weed, and I came to mushrooms, and I really wanted to find acid. And the reason for this was because mushrooms hurt my stomach. I threw up. I just couldn't go far with mushrooms. I couldn't do it. I hated throwing up over myself or just on the ground, or just, it made me feel like shit, like literally like dookie, like the actual exact representation of shit. That's what it made me feel like. And every time I threw up, it felt like I was purging death and demons out of me. And honestly, I probably was. To be completely honest, I was a very satanically inspired individual at the time. Not consciously, and not on my own free will. I was just a very evil person, I'd say. I didn't do bad things. I was just a bad person to myself. A lot of negative emotions, just bad habits. But anyway, I digressed. Anyway, I finally got a hold of acid, and this stage of my life, this was like probably a 6-month high after I first found acid and did it, man. Because this shit felt like it literally felt like I had been born again. Like everything was so new, like lights, colors, going outside, the air felt different, and I walked around, felt like there's lightning in your fucking veins, like everything looked fucking sick. Like, I'm very passionate about that. I'm very passionate about LSD and my past trips, because that shit seriously did change me in a lot of ways. But because of this major high I had, you could call it flying too close to the sun, I was like, you know what? If acid's good, other drugs gotta be awesome too. So I became much more open to other stupid shit, unfortunately. And at school one day, my friend in art class, I was hanging out with one of my best friends. We're gonna give him a name. We're gonna name him Johnny. That's what we're gonna name him, Johnny. Now, Johnny and me, we've been friends for a while. We started off as enemies. Johnny's been a good friend of mine. He's my best friend, right? And in art class, me and him fucked around a lot. He was kind of the reason I failed art class, because we would always destroy each other's art projects. Like, we would be halfway done, and I'd pour like a bottle of ink on his, and then he'd pour it on mine. But eventually, like, I stopped giving a fuck about that class, and it was funny to both of us when my shit got destroyed. So I'd do some shit, and he'd just destroy it. I'd laugh it off, and like, we'd go about our day. And I failed, so it was my own fault. But it was A lot of my projects got destroyed by him. But anyway, one day I'm sitting in art class, bored as fuck, as usual, and this girl in my class had some ADHD medication. Now, she said it was Adderall. It took me years to actually finally find out that it was Concerta. It was the timed release version of methylphenidate, aka Ritalin. It was Concerta, and it was the 54 milligrammers, and she gave me 9 of these fucking pills, and I thought they were Adderalls, and I didn't know that they were timed release, and I started popping them one at a time, in my class, just relaxing, doing my art. And after a while of popping these, I started feeling super fucking like, actually, you know what? If I do believe, that's the problem. I wasn't feeling shit because they were time release. I popped like maybe 2 or 3 and I felt nothing. And the lunch break came along. And back in grade 10, because of COVID, they fucked us all with high school, man. There's a lot of retarded kids in my grade and below and above, unfortunately, but they fucked this shit up. And they made you had like one class for an entire week, and then you'd switch to like math. So it'd be like art, math, and then it would be the next semester it'd switch to another 2. It was so retarded. But essentially, yeah, we went outside for break, me and my boy Johnny, and I started popping these things like fucking M&Ms because I couldn't feel shit. Like, I seriously couldn't feel shit, and I didn't know what the problem was. I thought maybe I was immune, or maybe I thought I cured my ADHD, and maybe I just need more of this, and I need to get extra fucking geeked, just need more drugs. So I started piling them into my fucking gullet, and eventually, when I got them all down, I still felt nothing. I wasn't hungry though, so that was a sign that shit was working, and so I kind of just went about my day. Me and Johnny, I think Johnny got a sandwich from Mr. Sub, and we walked back to school. And damn, this is when shit really started to hit the fan. It started kicking in. I could feel it. It felt like my focus, like it felt like I had tunnel vision, quite literally, not only mentally and physically. Like my eyes, like whatever I was working on, like I could see it in such fine detail. It almost was like I was tripping, man, to be completely honest. And yeah, hold on, quick water break. Yeah, I started doing my art project. I think it was like just some carving. I don't know if you guys have ever done this in high school or in middle school, but you kind of carve like a piece of rubber, like a design. You dip it in ink, and you can kind of like, it makes a print. It's kind of cool. It's an art project. And I started carving the most just fucking spectacular, amazing piece of art you've ever seen. I should have passed the class just because of that piece of work, but I didn't. We failed. I just told you guys. Anyway, despite me thinking this piece of art was beautiful, I started geeking after I finished it, because it kept ramping up, but it felt good. I'm not gonna lie. It was basically math. At the end of the day, it's ADHD medication, and I think I went to a different class. Even though I said we have one class at a time, I remember going to a different class. I'm not too sure what this class was. Might have been careers or civics. And if I remember, my ex-girlfriend was in the class at the time, and this was also a good stage, because this is before me and her also kind of hit the fan as well. So I think she was just laughing at how geeked I was. It was kind of funny, and I was just asking so many questions to the teacher. He couldn't keep up, man. He couldn't keep up. I was showing this man who's boss, I'm not gonna say his name, but we all know, we love this motherfucker, man. He was a great guy. But yeah, after that class, I went home with my girlfriend at the time, and my other friends. I think my other best friend, he's my brother, like literally my brother. This one's the dog, and we're just gonna call him, what's a good name for this guy, man? We're just gonna call him Jordan. But so Jordan and Johnny and my ex-girlfriend, or my girlfriend at the time, sorry, we're gonna call her, we need a name for her. We can't keep referring to her as that way. We're gonna call her Cindy. So Cindy, Johnny, and Jordan, we all came home, And they were just laughing at me. They couldn't take me seriously because I seriously was talking so fucking fast, and I kept switching from like subject to subject. Like there was just no following what I was saying. Like you could, like I was saying coherent things, but I kept switching from topic to topic like a motherfucker. You just couldn't keep up as a regular person. And so they were just amused by it all. And I put up like, I think 50 feet of fucking LEDs that are still up in my room to this day. I put them up in a matter of like 5 minutes. Perfectly. And like, it's kind of like, you know, at the time I don't even think I was fully 6'4" yet. I was only like maybe 6'1", which I know is like only, but like, you know, I still have to stretch to get this shit like on the upper lining of my roof. But I did that shit fast, man. And eventually I think my friends just left. We may have smoked. I don't think I did. I think I was actually concerned about that because I knew smoking would completely fuck me. So they went home, and it was just me and my girlfriend, and I think she was staying the night. She was indeed. And things unfortunately took a turn. This is where things get a little dark. Eventually it kind of started, like, you know, this drug kind of, like the 500, it was basically 500 milligrams, I think. It was like 9 of these pills, which would have been around that. And like I started wearing off, and the come down from this was seriously worse than any drug I've ever experienced in my life, because it was a lot, man. It was a lot of fucking ADHD meds. It was a horrible come down. I've seriously never ever experienced anything like this. I've tried Molly once, which I might tell a story about too. Probably not. It's more of a personal story. Who knows? But not even Molly. There wasn't even really a bad come down with Molly. This shit was horrible. It left me dead inside. And part of the reason was my like I don't know. I'll get to it. Anyway, so I'm lying in bed with my girlfriend, and my mind is racing. It went from being like super euphoric, amazing, and stimulative experience to this like, okay, now I'm fucking bored. I need something to do. I started going kind of crazy. My mind just kept racing. So I'm like, I can't go to bed. It was like maybe 12 o'clock. My girl, she was trying to sleep. She had school in the morning. Like, we have school in the morning, man. I'm tweaking. I took 500 milligrams of fucking methylphenidate. I'm tweaking. It is 12 o'clock. So what do? I decide to deliver some joints to a customer, because I used to sell drugs at the time. And I decided to take a shortcut through the forest. Now, this wasn't a shortcut, because this might have been the middle of fucking December, and there was like snow everywhere at the time, man. And this was no fucking shortcut. I had no boots, just regular shoes, and I had to run through the snow. I ran through probably maybe a whole, I want to say like 750 meter trail of snow, like, and the snow probably went up to my upper shins, which is crazy. And I ran through it all just to get to the other side of the street. I don't really know how to describe this shortcut, but it kind of just like joins two streets together that would take like ages to walk around, you know. But so I took that shortcut, and I literally felt the life fucking drain out of me, man. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't see. My heart was it felt like it was beating in my head, and it felt like I was gonna die. It actually felt like I was gonna pass out. I delivered these joints. I couldn't even speak to this woman I was delivering it to. I was like, I kind of told her what happened. She was like, holy shit, like, be safe. I was like, yeah, like, I'm gonna just take it easy. And I started to walk home. And this is where things got a little iffy diffy too. Now, nothing went particularly wrong. I actually started to calm down. But in this walk, I think I developed some serious permanent problems with my mental state, or became aware of some, like overly aware of some things in my mental. Because as I started walking home, I started to I was so hyper fixated on my own consciousness and awareness and my ability to think. And I was like, wow, it's very important that I can think. And like, I just remember emphasizing in my head how important it is to be conscious and being able to think all the time. And I should constantly be thinking. That's what I was thinking to myself. Like, how I should constantly be thinking, because then I'll always be making progress. It was a weird mental state I was in, but it was almost psychedelic. It was very introspective. And I started just walking home. And when I got home, I was that was it. I had nothing in me. No longer, I had no life force, no nothing. I was like basically an empty spirit. And my girlfriend said something. I was a dead shell. I couldn't, like, there was no emotion. And she started like crying, which made me really uncomfortable too, because like I wanted to like everything about this is just uncomfortable. I felt like not even in my own body. I felt so shitty, and like she was crying because like I'm not completely sure why, because like I guess I wasn't myself. I couldn't like give her any cuddles or some shit. Like I wasn't giving much affection, but I was just a dead shell on the bed. And I felt so uncomfortable. I felt so bad that she was upset. I just obviously wanted to make her feel better, but I was not in the state to do so. And I think I stayed awake all night. She did go to bed eventually, and I think I fell asleep briefly. But when I awoke, it was even worse. I couldn't fucking move. And at this point, my girlfriend, like Cindy, she realized like something was fucking up. Like, she realized like, okay, like this guy isn't just being like, you know, not affectionate. This guy's actually fucked. Because I couldn't even get up. I felt so horrible. It was the worst hangover I could ever describe. And my dad took my girlfriend to school. And I just remained home. He knew something was up. He kind of laughed at me. He kind of laughed it off all the time. He knew I was up to some shit, but he never really poked because he knew it would just cause more problems. But yeah, my girlfriend got taken to school. Holy crap, man. I'm sorry about the speech impediments this entire video. I'm slightly mentally retarded. Been smoking so much weed lately. But yeah, he took my girl to school, and I remained at home to recover. And that I did. And it was a crazy experience, man. People were concerned. I had the person who gave me the meds text me up, see if I was okay. My boy Johnny asked if I was okay. My boy Jordan, I think we talked about it the next time he came over. Me and him kind of keep it real, so we talk in person a lot more. But yeah, Johnny, like everyone was concerned, really. It was a bad day. My mom eventually found out. And this is, like I said, a tipping point, because then people were like, okay, this guy's starting to hurt himself. This guy's starting to do stupid shit, and it's also starting to emotionally affect the people around me, like my girlfriend. So that was, after that, things kind of got bad. And we got more stories coming up, like hundreds of stories. So if you guys did like this video, this was a much longer one. I'm feeling hella comfortable, hella chill. I'm really happy about the new production quality. If you guys are too, I'm happy to see your feedback. I'm happy to hear your comments and, you know, everything about this video. Tell me, you know, what you liked. You got any stories too? Have you ever geeked out on Adderall before too and almost died? Or not Adderall, or any type of ADHD medication, really. Tell me your stories. I want to hear about it. Nevertheless, guys, I will see you guys in the next video, whether that be another story or maybe just like a keep it, you know, a get it real talk, you know, a keep it real talk, you know what I mean? Yeah, other than that, y'all, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Stay blessed.